Hi guys, welcome back to Forgetful Scholar, and this week we're going to chat about two books, a book and a novella. Still counts. So this week I read a cozy historical mystery and a historical monster Cthulhu mystery romance boy love. Okay, so the first book is the historical cozy mystery, and I've been hearing about this series for a while. It's a long going series. I've heard about it for a while, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And I was really hoping I would like it. I loved it. So there we go. Quiet Life in the Country, a Lady Hardcastle Mystery Book 1 by T.E. Kinsey. And it was published 2016, and it's 257 pages. I would say this is a 4.5. 5-star is if I would recommend this book to someone who's trying to get into the genre. Also, would I reread it? And that's the only thing I don't think I would reread it. So that's why it's a 4.5, but on Goodreads I put 5. I had so much fun. So, oh, my nose is killing me. So itchy. Okay. I'm a little all over the place today. Anyway, doesn't matter. So let's see if I could focus. Probably not, but let's try. Okay, so this is this cozy historical mystery, and it circles around Lady Hardcastle and her lady maid Flo, and it's from Flo's POV. So it is very Sherlock Holmes-y set up like that. They even kind of addressed that in the book, which was fun. Lady Hardcastle is a widow, and she moves into the countryside for a quiet life. And this is one of the things I really love when it's done well. It's phenomenal. When it's not, it's like, oh, a little cringe. But in this book, I had to check that it was book 1, right? Because Flo and Hardcastle reference all these things they've done. So Flo has been in Lady Hardcastle's employ for 15 years. So like fleeing China, saving the Bulgarian ambassador, hiding out in India, like all these things. I was like, wait, what? And I had to check that it was book 1, and it is. And the thing is, with this, when this is done well, you feel like you're in on the joke, right? You feel like it's fun, it's punchy. You get the sense that these characters have been in each other's lives and been through a lot, and are really close. And you feel like you're in on the joke, right? So as the book progresses, you get little bits of this past adventures, so you don't feel left out, right? And this is very easy for, I think, the reader to feel left out and confused if this isn't done well, but this was done well. So you feel like you're in on the joke, and you're slowly figuring out like how close they are with it, right? So in this mystery, there's 2 deaths and a missing emerald the size of my fist, which... that's big. That's pretty big. So they moved to this quiet town, and I love their banter back and forth. You could tell like chapter 1 that they're friends, right? And right off the bat, the author knows who these 2 women are, knows their tone, knows their personality, like hits all the cues, right? So they move in for a quiet life. In this quiet little provincial village in England, and it's like I forget what time period it takes place. I think it's like early 1900s, because there's cars, but that doesn't seem commonplace, and I don't think women have the vote. So it's sometime like between that time, around that time period. And Lady Hardcastle is a brilliant woman who likes, who has these obsessions, and right now she's obsessed with motion pictures, so she's trying to figure that out in like one of the rooms in the manor. So she's brilliant, charming. She's not, you know how Sherlock Holmes is off-putting? She's not off-putting. Everybody seems to just adore her. It's great. Flo is hilarious, feisty, and apparently in China trained by monks to self-defense. So she's a tiny little feral dog, and I love her. She's just like an attack dog. She's great. And they have a great chemistry. You could tell that they're friends. They're ride or die for each other. So one death happens. They come upon the body, like first chapter, I think, like boom, done. It's like, damn, okay, awesome. I like that the local constables were a little condescending, which is, but for the time period, I think they were pretty open about Lady Hardcastle being smart and pointing out flaws in the crime scene to show that it wasn't self-inflicted, but that it was in fact murder. The DIC from Brighton, he arrests somebody, and Flo and Lady Hardcastle was like, he's not correct. That's not right. That boy didn't do it. So that's how they kind of get involved in it. And they're like, hey, and it's funny because Flo was kind of getting a little bored after like 2 days of finding a dead body. Like this is, when you hear little bits about their past, you get why they found the quiet life boring, right? So they start their own investigation, which leads to a garden party, because always a garden party, and another dead body, and the theft of the emerald. And I think there were so many fun twists and turns, and I had no idea. Well, no, I kind of suspected who was behind it all. I kind of suspected it from like the middle, but I didn't know which. Like, I suspected a group, and I didn't know which one in that group was it. So that was a lot of fun. And looking back on it, once the reveal, I think there were clues for you to follow along and maybe guess it before, which I love. So the mystery was top notch. The chemistry was fun. The women were brilliant and completely different voices, and not bitchy at all. It was great. I loved it. It was great. I understand why people love the series so much. So I'm so excited to delve into the series because I really had a fun time reading it. I had a blast. Okay, so that was that one. Now the second one, the contemporary Cthulhu gay romance mystery. Now this is from author I have loved for a very long time, Jordan L. Hawk, and this is Unbroken, Wrath and Rune, book 4, pages 194, and published 2025 in October. And I was like, are you kidding me? This book has been out since October, and I had no idea. What the heck? So like the moment I saw it, I was like, done, gotta read it. My boys are back. I miss my boys. I can't wait to see what's happening. So a quick recap. Wrath and Rune. So Rune, Vesper, and his younger brother Nocturne, they were, they're dark young. So they're half human. Their mother, sorceress, had them with the great, the all-mother, forest god, black goat. So they are half Cthulhu, eldritch deity, half human. And they were like, the mother and grandfather were very cruel, manipulative, and wanted Vesper to basically bring about the end of the world and rule over the humans that were left. But Vesper is a sweetie little, he's like an artistic sweetheart and didn't want to do it, So this is a concept this author, Jordan L. Hawk, plays with a lot. First of all, found family. Freaking go feral for found family. Love it. But also identity and finding who you are despite what is expected, So Vesper's like he was prophesized to destroy the world when the series before this, because it takes place at the same time as the series Wyborn and Griffin. So if you want to read these guys, I would suggest reading Wyborn and Griffin first. And during that great battle, Vesper was supposed to lead the army, and Vesper's like, I don't want to. I opt out. No thanks. Too much paperwork and taking over the world. No thanks. So he, you know, the power of choice, right? So him and his little brother escaped, and Vesper can blend in. It's just in mirrors. He can't hide his more Cthulhu-esque attributes, but he could hide, like, retract his tentacles, things like that. His younger brother cannot. Their relationship is so adorable. And when they go to Windishins in Massachusetts, they find, and this is where Wyborn and Griffin story took place. This is like some years after. Vesper gets a job at the library because he is a book restorer, and he meets Sebastian Rath, who is a librarian. Now, this library, this museum, has a long history with the occult and fighting monsters and Cthulhu things, and accepting of like magic and stuff like that. And Sebastian and Vesper fall in love, and Sebastian and his family are so welcoming and loving of him and Nocturne, which is so very sweet, right? So his sister and all his nieces and nephews, they just love them. It's very sweet. And Nocturne, he has his own little side story of his own, like, Beauty and the Beast style romance, which they're with their friend Irene, which is so cute. But it focuses on Sebastian and Vesper, and through the meeting and them coming to this mysterious, quirky town, they uncover that Sebastian's ancestors, one of his great-grandfather was killed and interned for crimes of being a vampire. They thought he was a vampire. And his siblings apparently did this ritual where 2 aunts and 2 uncles, their flesh and blood became different books of different, like, evil books of magic. One was Book of Breath, then Book of Flesh, Book of Bone, and the last one with the stories about Book of Blood. And they did this to, like, bring the vampire sibling back, end of days kind of thing. It is kind of like there's kind of spooky stuff in these series, but I don't care. I love it. Anyway, it's a Cthulhu story. There's gonna be gross stuff, right? And because Sebastian is the ancestor, he is able to bind these books of dark magic to him, and he could control them. And every time he does that, he gets powers, like a power. Like when he bound the Book of Breath to him, he's able to force someone to tell the truth. You know, slightly morally gray abilities, you know? And sometimes you see Sebastian kind of going into it a little too much, but Vesper kind of brings him back, because Vesper is very aware, like, of dark magic and the powers it could give you, and, you know, because he's a dark young, right? So, and he's such a sweetheart, so it's wonderful how, like, they push and pull each other, and their relationship is so sweet. I love it so much. And this is around, like, in the early 1900s, but I'm not sure which time period. I don't think it's the Roaring 20s, because there's no mention of, like, prohibition or anything like that. So I think it might be either before or after, but, like, I don't think after, because after then, like, whispers of World War would start. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's early 1900s, right? And while they're doing this, Vesper's mother and grandfather are in the shadows, pulling strings, causing problems, and you don't know if you could trust them or not, because this author does it so well. Like, in the Wyborn Griffin series, Wyborn's father was, like, the supervillain in the first book, right? But as the books go on, he is one of the most accepting and loving characters of Wyborn and Griffin. It's a gay romance in, or like 1900, right? So, like, he was the supervillain in the first book, yet he accepts Griffin as his son-in-law with no issue. He accepts his daughter, who is like half deep dweller, no issue, right? So like it's so like such a complicated, complex character for the bad guy in the first book, right? So the fact that the mother and the grandfather have been the bad guys for a bit, but still there's so much complexity, especially in this book, because the grandfather helps Vesper and the mother helps Vesper, even though they were like really abusive when he was younger. So they're such complicated, greedy, yet they love it. It's so, oh, I love it. It's so good. I love when the bad guys are complex and rich. It just gives the story and the stakes so much more, it's risen, right? And I love this author for it because they always do this and I adore it. So this book, they're going after the Book of Blood. And it's a short book, and I got through it fast, but man, it is dense with the stuff that happens. People, when they're looking for the Book of Blood, their biggest clue is people in the horticultural society, so hard to say that word, start dying in weird ways. So they're trying to investigate, but like there's roadblocks, and then there's a subplot from like this cult that they defeated in the last book, but they didn't get everybody, so they pop up again and they threaten Sebastian's sister and his one of his like the infant niece, and like, and then as that's happening, there's a whole sub storyline of Nocturne and Irene, and because Irene is from a long family of monster hunters, so the fact that she's in love with Nocturne, not everybody's okay with it, and there's a traitor. And then there's another subplot of another dark young, like they have a sibling that they didn't know about that is like, is being used, is being controlled, is being harmed, or is a part of what is happening. So like that, and I don't want to give away because the mystery is so much fun and discovering what's happening is a lot of fun. I will say if this was a mystery, I probably wouldn't have given it, like this is 5 stars for me, I love it. If it was like quoted as a mystery instead of a romance, I don't know, because the mystery, you don't really, you can't look back and like, oh, those clues lead up to that. Of course, you know, but as like a suspense romance, the creepy pasta, phenomenal, you know, especially with the descriptions of how some of these people die, so gross. And sometimes you catch, because it jumps between Sebastian and Vesper's point of view, and sometimes you think like, oh, Sebastian, I think you're getting used to these dark arcane powers a little too much, you know. But I love the sweet moments with him and Vess and how much they love each other. And I just really do love how Sebastian's family just accepts, like his sister and the niece and nephew just love these two half Cthulhu, you know, they just consider them uncles and they love them, and that's so innocent. So there's so much dark, heavy, graphic stuff happening, and then there's such sweet, adorable through lines, you know, with found family and loving someone, you know, and I'm like, how does the author always do this to me? They always make me feel too many emotions. But I'm not gonna give too much. I tried really hard not to give anything away on either of these books, but they are phenomenal. I had a great time with both of them. Check them out. If you want to start reading Jornal Hawk, I would suggest starting with the Wyborn and Griffin series. I have a friend of mine that started with the Rath and Rune, not the Wyborn and Griffin series, and she loves it, and she says she doesn't feel lost at all, so that's phenomenal. But they're phenomenal. I had such a great time. Have a great day, guys. I want to, it's time for me to get back to the real world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.